If you want to make sure that you set the right goals for your life, then this is the episode for you. So sit down, settle in, and let's get going. Hey, Bo Schwade here with Powerful Action Principles for Success. And I've got a episode here for you that is going to be based on goals, but mostly on priorities. And what I mean by priorities is even before you start setting goals, you need to set the priorities in your life. And what I mean by that is what is important to you. It was one of the things I learned when I was young. And what it did is it kept my goals congruent with who I really was. And I'm not kidding myself. And what I did is just simple. You just take a piece of paper, number 1 from 10 or whatever. I never got past about 3 or 4 or 5. And then you got to figure out what is the most important thing to you in life. Is it your family? Is it your career? Is it money? Is it freedom? Now, freedom was my number 1 goal. Over money, I didn't have a family because freedom was my number 1 goal. And it's probably why I didn't have a family until I was 50 years old. And then my priorities started to change. But when you're young, you got to know those priorities. Because if you've got your family as number 1, yet you set these lofty goals to build a mammoth business, you're going to have a rough time. I'm not saying you can't have a business and have a family, but I'm just telling you, one is going to have to get in front of the other most of the time. And if you want to build a big business, that business may have to be number 1. And that doesn't mean your family is just shoved aside, but they're going to be number 2. And those are the questions you've got to ask yourself before you start setting goals in your life. What are my priorities? Like I said, freedom was mine. That's why I became a professional entertainer. I could have made millions more in my life had I just if money was my first priority and all I cared about was building big businesses. No, I wanted to be free. I didn't want to be shackled to money. I didn't want to be shackled to, even though I made a nice living, but I didn't want to be shackled. And that gave me the freedom in my life, a lot more freedom than most, to do what I wanted to do. So I stayed true to who I really was. And that's what I highly recommend for all of you. So get that piece of paper out, sit down, figure out what are the priorities in order. Freedom, family, my career, or vice versa. And then sit down and really, really be honest with yourself and start setting some goals. Well, I'm Bo Schwade. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will have another episode for you in a few more days. Love you, mean it. See ya.